Hey, what's up guys? Axel here. Welcome to A-Tech Reviews. Today's video is going to be an exciting one as I'm going to be talking about the Kiwi Ears KE4. It's an impressive IEM. It's a hybrid 2DD, 2BA, and it costs $199. And I have a lot I want to share. So after I review this, I'm going to be comparing it to the Kiwi Ears Quintet, the Orchestra Lite, Truth Ear Nova, and we have the Chopin right here as well, and the Dunu Da Vinci. So, and even the High Senior Megafest. So let's talk about it. What comes in the box? This is the box it comes with. It's a very basic type of box, very small. And then you have this pocketable case. It could fit in your pocket. And once you open it inside, you have this spare filters, and you have a set of Kiwi Ears Flex ear tips. I recommend trying them because they do affect the sound. That's it. Another cable. Let me get that. Another cable and the earpiece, and that's it. So the unboxing experience is kind of okay. Nothing impressive. So let's talk about the cable. The cable is a very nice cable. Actually, it's the same cable that comes here with the Kiwi Ears Quintet. It's a nice cable, average thickness, very pliable, like it doesn't tangle that much, and it's quite soft. Shin cinch slider kind of works, no problem at all. No memory even, and it's not microphonic. The only thing I wanted to add is, like, I wish there was a modular option for the cable. That would have been nice. Now, in terms of the earpieces themselves, they are medical grade resin, and they have this contoured shape, which is great for fit and comfort. As you can see, they have this shape, which is great. And they have a metal nozzle which measures 6.0 millimeters on the average side, I would say. There's like a clear coat of resin on top, which kind of makes it a bit shiny and a bit smooth. Again, a welcome addition in my opinion. The only thing I had here is some driver flex. That's the only thing I had with it. It's a small thing. It's a bit soft, driver flex, but I wanted to mention it to be, for full disclosure. In terms of the driver configuration, we have two dynamic drivers in an isobaric configuration, one balanced armature for the mid-range, it's a custom BA, and then we have one Knowles tweeter, and all of these are arranged in a three-way passive crossover. Now let's start with talking about the sound signature. What is the sound signature of the Kiwi Ears KE4? To me, to my ears, it sounds a bit neutral warm, or a warm neutral with a good amount of bass boost. Like, we can call this the meta tuning. It really adheres to that meta tuning, and on top of that, it sounds very smooth. It sounds really with a good natural timbre. If you look at the graph, if we bring the graph up, you're going to notice that it's a very smooth type of sound signature, and it has no major peaks, it has no major dips. And usually it's a very, very smooth type of sound signature. It's going to make it like versatile for many music genres. And I'm going to recommend it for a lot of music genres. It's really has an agreeable and pleasing type of tonality, which is going to fit a lot of people. Now let's talk about the bass. Let's break it down. Let's talk with the bass. Now the bass here, it has actually a very Harman-like type of bass. Now, it's not the most textured, but it's not one-noted either. Like, it's kind of in the middle way. It's not focused on the cleanliness or detail as much as it's focusing on the slam and the impact. It's a powerful type of bass response. It's strong, it's impactful. It has like a good amount of power behind it. If you want that type of slam in the bass, the punchiness, the powerful low end that even increases as you raise the volume, you're going to find it here. But it's not going to be that type of detailed bass or that, extra texture type of bass. There is some texture, there is a good sub bass rumble, but again, it kind of focuses more on the impact. I could describe it as a full type of bass. These two DDs are giving a full type of powerful bass presentation. And when we move on to the lower mid-range, you kind of see on the graph there is like a bit of a tilt from 300 hertz to 1 kilohertz. And what this does is it adds a bit of thickness, maybe even sometimes a bit too much, but it's good. It adds a bit of warmth to the sound, adds a lot of thickness, and adds a natural tonality and timbre. This gives a lot of the vocals heft, gives like a lot of good note weight, some heavy note weight. It gives a lot of the instruments some body, like the vocals, specifically the male vocals, sound full, sound rich, sound thick, that kind of a thing. At the same time, if you look at the upper mid-range, specifically after 1K, you kind of feel like it's a bit of a laid-back presentation, at least at low and mid volume. Like the moment you raise the volume, it's going to become something else, and it's going to be fun and powerful, engaging. The vocals are going to be a bit more forward. And, with the amount of around 8 dB pin gain we have here, it's never going to sound shouty to your ears. It's going to sound good, relaxed, easy listening, non-fatiguing. It's like, something you can use every day for a lot of hours with any genre. K-pop, J-pop, rock, metal, you name it. It's going to sound good. It's going to sound a bit laid back. And again, I have to say that for my taste, I kind of feel I like just a touch more of vocal forwardness here, just to balance it with the bass and the treble to add a bit of clarity. But again, what's here, it kind of reminds me of the Awful Explorer. It's kind of a laid-back presentation, but the moment you raise the volume, it kind of comes alive. Anyway, that's about the mid-range. And female vocals sound detailed, sound clear, non-husky, sound great, and even slightly a bit airy and extended because of the treble. And speaking of the treble, it has good treble extension. It's no sibilance at all, zero sibilance. It has no sibilance. It's not sharp, and it has a lot of air with it. It has a lot of good extension. Like cymbal crashes sound detailed, not emphasized, like they look kind of airy in the graph, but to me they are not emphasized. I would say good amount of extension. That's how I describe it. Good amount of treble extension, good amount of treble detail, but without sounding sharp, fatiguing, piercing, peaking, or sibilant. It's a very smooth type of treble. It focuses more on the smoothness. Speaking of the technicalities, like it's not like a detail monster IEM. I feel it can compete with its competitors and other IEMs in this price range. Actually, it has good amount of detail retrieval, but I would describe it as slightly less than something that the Truth Ear Nova. And I will explain this more when I get to the comparison segment. Speaking of the transients, they are a bit soft, not as sharp or as incisive as other IEMs that maybe have a bit more vocal forwardness or a bit more upper mid-range boost. But again, it's a nice, pleasing, smooth, detailed tonality that's more on the warm type of sound. In terms of timbre, it's excellent. It's a natural timbre, and I kind of recommend it for those seeking a slightly warm but natural tonality and natural timbre. Instruments sound natural. Male and female vocals sound natural. Again, it's a very nice type of tonality and timbre that I recommend. With that said, now let's begin our comparison segment. I will start with the Kiwi Ears Quintet. Now, the Kiwi Ears Quintet is going to be more detailed, all right? That's number one. They're both in the similar price ranges. And if you look at the 300 lower mid-range from 300 hertz to 1 kilohertz, the Quintet kind of has that better separation between the mid-bass and the lower mid-range, and the upper mid-range is a bit boosted with more treble. So this kind of makes the sound of the Quintet, to be completely honest, it's a bit more dynamic, it's a bit more fun sounding, it's a bit more engaging sounding. Like when you listen to the KE4 in comparison, it kind of sounds a bit more flattish. It's not flat really, but it's kind of not as engaging or as dynamic or contrasty as the Kiwi Ears Quintet. The thing is with the Quintet, and why I prefer the KE4 much more, is the Quintet has that type of metallic timbre to it, which doesn't exactly sound completely natural to my ears. And another thing is the treble. There's that piezoelectric bone conduction driver has that zing in the treble. Some people don't mind it, some people mind it. It's the PZT type of driver has that zing in the treble, which you can find it here again with the metallic timbre. And another thing is the treble of the Quintet could be a bit too spicy to my ears, so it doesn't go well with many of the songs in my library. It kind of depends on what I'm listening to. But with that said, I have to be honest, the Quintet is more technical, it's more detailed, and it sounds a bit more fun, a bit more engaging. It has that, a bit of excitement to it. The Kiwi Ears is a better option in my opinion because it's a bit safe, and it's not going to sound a bit like sharp, or it doesn't going to give me a bit of a spicy treble. Sure, it's less detailed, but it has a natural sounding timbre. Instruments sound natural, male and female vocals sound natural. Treble could never be piercing or spicy. I can listen to it for a long time. It will never be fatiguing. And it kind of grows on you. If I want it to be more engaging, I kind of raise the volume, and there you go. The second IEM I will compare it to is the Kiwi Ears Orchestra Lite, another great IEM. The difference here will be, first of all, the fit. Like, the Kiwi Ears is a bit bulkier. It has 8 balanced armature. Look at the size difference. It's not as contoured as this KE4, so the KE4 gives me the better comfort. The nozzle size even is 6.5 on the Orchestra Lite. It's bigger, but on the KE4 is much more comfortable. Look at that size. Look how bulky that is. Oh, man. So that's number one. Another thing is the Orchestra Lite is not vented. So if you're sensitive to kind of the pressure issues, you're going to get it here more likely. For me, I have no problem with that type of thing. But then we come to the bass. The bass on the KE4 is a dynamic driver type of bass, have that impact. Like, when you listen to the Orchestra Lite after that, it kind of feels a bit lacking. But the Orchestra Lite is more detailed, and it has better separation. So it kind of makes it, again, more lively sounding. And it has more upper mid-range, so the vocals pop more and are more forward. And again, it's kind of like more balanced sounding, you know, compared to the KE4. It kind of sounds like that, but it kind of depends on your preferences. If you're seeking detail, if you want an all BA set and you want more separation, and you're okay with the BA bass and the fit and comfort and the unvented type of driver here, I think the Orchestra Lite is going to be it. But for my ears, man, the KE4 is much better. There's also the issue of the timbre. The timbre is much better and much more natural on the KE4. If I had to choose one, again, I would choose the KE4 and maybe take the cable of the Orchestra Lite. Speaking of the Nova is similar to the Chopin. The Chopin has a bit of a slight mid-bass boost compared to that. So the vocals are not as lean as the Nova. But speaking of the Nova is going to give you more detail. That's number one. It's not going to give you the bass performance and the impact you get from the Kiwi Ears. And at the same time, it's going to give you more vocal forwardness. So if you like more vocals, you know, like appearing like closer to your face, and you don't want to use very high volume, mid volume, you know, to preserve your hearing, which I recommend, I think the Nova is going to give you that, or the Chopin is going to give you that. Chopin will give you even like the similar bass to the KE4, maybe slightly more texture, but kind of similar impact. I feel the Chopin and Nova are a bit more detailed compared to the KE4, but the KE4 is for the warm type of sound. It's also an option for anyone who wants to try the meta tuning, or people who like warm type of sound signatures, people who want a bit of a relaxed mid-range, like to like differentiate between them very easily. If you ever felt like the Harman target has a lot of pin gain for you, and you felt it kind of shouty, or you're looking for something different from a Harman type of tuning, the KE4 is going to just, you know, fit right up your alley. Like, it's going to sound, you know, what you expect. And for many people, I kind of feel it has its place, and it's going to offer that. Now, speaking of the meta tuning, let's talk about, you know, one of the meta tuning, like, in my opinion, legends. Like, this is the best meta tuning I have ever heard, at least. Even, yeah, to me, this even sounds better than the Mega 5 EST, which is another great IEM I will mention in a second. What are the differences? Now, if you look at the graph, they're very similar, and this comes in at an extra $100. So what is going on here? I compared them AB match, volume match, and I will tell you what I found. Honestly, the KE4 is attractive because of the price. It's not going to give you the same sound at all. And if you're looking and you want to pay more and you want to get a better meta-tuned IEM, and you're okay with a level of extra bass, I recommend the Dunu Da Vinci. And I even recommend it, at least for my personal enjoyment and taste, I even found it much more impressive and fun than something like the High Senior Mega 5 EST, which I will get into. It's a great IEM as well. So what are the differences? Number one is the bass. The bass, although on the graph is a bit tiny difference, that difference is huge to my ears. It's way too like strong and super pleasurable and enjoyable. Like it is like super separated, super textured, super detailed, super clean, well separated from the mids. I was listening to some System of a Down tracks and some Tool. You know, Tool is one of my favorite bands. You know, Daft Punk, and the bass on the Da Vinci was like in the background. The drum kicks were like. It's super strong, super enjoyable, makes its presence known. Like if you want to know impact, this is impact. This is slam. This is punch in your face, man. This is a punchy bass. So it's going to depend on that. Other thing is, as I said, I felt the vocals on like the KE4. I kind of felt I wanted more because it's not as highlighted like as I want, and this kind of became clear when I compared it to like the Nova or the Chopin. They were more highlighted. Here the Da Vinci is almost the same level, but the vocals kind of feel separated from the bass. Like they have more clarity. Like I feel like maybe I just want to add a slight touch more, but I'm okay with that level. So there is that. Probably this is due to the 5-way crossover, maybe, but there is a huge difference in clarity, vocal forwardness, and overall instrument separation. Things are way more separated on the Da Vinci, and a small example is a cymbal crash. It sounds on the Da Vinci like it's coming from its own place, whereas on the KE4, like things kind of sound like not flat. Like I'm trying to find another word. I would say like a bit syrupy. Like it's like you know, things are again in the same. You know, like things are floating in the same wave kind of thing. It's hard to describe. Like the instrument separation and detail is not that strong on the KE4, so it's much better here. But again, that doesn't mean the KE4 is not a good choice because it's not competing at $300. It's coming in at $200, and to my ears, it's going to be a very attractive option for anyone who wants to, you know, pay that amount and try and experience the meta tuning to, you know, gauge their interest and know what they like or what they don't like. It's you know, like for $400 or, you know, $350, you can get like something then like the Nova and the KE4, and kind of like listen to both, know which IEM you like and which one you don't like, versus that, you know, Da Vinci, which comes in at $300 and it gives you one IEM, but you have to make sure that you like it. To me, obviously the Da Vinci will be the better option, and huge number of accessories as well. And this brings me to my last comparison here. Now, I don't have this IEM with me right now, so I will not just compare it in memory. I just wanted to add the graph for you folks, and you just want you to know that it is like the KE4 is like that. It's a mini Mega 5 EST. That's the value, and that's how great this IEM is. Like the Mega 5 EST is like closer to 600, I think, and a great IEM as well. But you know, I kind of felt it needed that more vocal clarity as well. Kind of felt the bass is a bit, you know, some IEMs are better, you know, like Da Vinci, for example, and so on. Detail-wise, it was similar to the KE4, you know, like I kind of felt also it's great detail, but I kind of felt like at 600, maybe details could be a little bit better. And you can see it's like the KE4 is a mini Mega 5 EST, and it comes in at a very, very good price. So that's why the KE4 gets my recommendation. For $200 now, I think I have two IEMs that are going to be my reference from here on out. Like they will be like two of my benchmarks. The binary Chopin for a Harman Target tuned IEM, and the Kiwi Ears KE4, and it will be like something like the, you know, kind of like a red pill, blue pill. Which one do you like? And I recommend for many people, if they want to, listen to both, try both, see which one suits you better, which signature you like more. And yeah, I like this trend, you know, although I like a bit more vocals, but I kind of like to see more IEMs like this, and even prices going lower than this. That's it, guys. That's the review of the Kiwi Ears KE4. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Have any questions? Leave them down below. Please, if you like this video, remember to subscribe to the channel. You know, like this video if you find it useful or helpful. And until then, see you next time, guys. I'm out. Bye.